Children, how are you? Fine. See, what was the topic we discussed last day? It was the nature of Congress dominance. And the previous topic, what had been discussed by us, we begin in this chapter with challenge of nation building. Then we discussed about the electoral competition, how was our first election, first general election conducted, how difficult was the task, how mammoth was the assignment for us, but we succeeded against all odds. And then we discussed regarding the Congress dominance in the first three general elections. Fine. Today we are going to discuss the nature of the Congress dominance. What kind of dominance, in fact, party Congress had. Fine. See, when we try to find the example, then across the globe we are finding several countries of the world where we do have the rule of one party. Means various countries we do have with the dominance of one party, in fact. So India is not an exception, but our condition is different. We do have the dominance. India has experienced the dominance of one party, but under a democratic system, under the umbrella of true democracy. We didn't believe in having democracy for the namesake. So there had been crucial difference between democracy or between the one party system we had in our country and the way it was in different other countries of the world. On the one hand, whether in the rest of the world, the countries they compromised with democracy. They ensured democracy there, they brought democracy there for the namesake, but it was not a real or true democracy. In our country, we did everything under a democratic condition. It was pure democracy. See, for example, the constitution of several country like China, country like Cuba, country like Syria, their constitution permits them to have a single party. Fine, our country and the constitution of our country can never think so. And whatsoever is there, it's crystal clear. We do have the multi-party system. Some other countries, we are finding there effectively one-party states, be that Myanmar, be that Belarus, be that Egypt, be that Eritrea, and it is due to their legal and military measures. Yes, children. In Myanmar, Egypt, Belarus, and Eritrea, we do have the one party states. They are one party states due to their legal and military measures. Myanmar had just come out. We do have some other examples of one party dominant states until a few years ago, be that Mexico, and who can forget about one party that had been ruling in Mexico, and you discussed in your previous classes also. That was PRI, Institutional Revolutionary Party. Fine, and this party ruled in Mexico for almost 6 decades. Yes, children, just imagine. And they had their own methodology of winning the election. They even used to pressurize everyone, including the teachers. When the parents were instructed that when you are going to attend the PTMs, you need to convince your teacher that you must vote for PRI only. For every government officer, it was compulsion to attend the party meeting of the PRI. So, can we tell such kind of system a democratic system? Certainly not, children. Fine. So, what happened in our country? Everything under democratic condition, and in other parts of the world, these were the conditions. Fine. And another underlying difference is that in our country, apart from democratic condition, we had the system of free and fair election. And then after free and fair election, Congress kept winning election after election. Here some similarity we can find with, though it's way ahead in fact, when African National Congress in the decades of 1990s, in fact, children, when South Africa came out from the regime of apartheid, then it was similar domination of the African National Congress. But we showed the way, and we had in our country way back, much before the domination of African National Congress. Now, you can ask that what were the regions? How will we find, and what are the factors responsible for these extraordinary success of the Congress party, for this exemplary performance of the Congress party? We have one point we discussed earlier, that is the legacy of the freedom struggle. Yes, children, because Congress party has been seen as inheritor of the national movement, because this movement Congress party has led this freedom movement. So this party has been seen as the inheritor of the national movement. Next, just see the leaders who were in forefront during the freedom struggle. Now those leaders were contesting election as a Congress candidates. So they were having the upper hand. Obviously they were having the upper hand. Then how can we forget about the well organized party, the organization, the party organization, the extraordinary organization of the Indian National Congress. Fine. This cannot be forgotten, children. Okay. Apart from it, because it was a well organized party, it has first of the blocks advantage. Now you need to understand first of the blocks advantage. Because of its organization, because of its network from the top to the bottom, when other parties they were about to think of their strategy, the Congress had already started their campaign, its campaign, children. Means they were planning for their strategy, they were sitting together to get a common consensus and then to frame a strategy. By the time Congress had already started its campaign because of its organizational structure. So many parties in fact were formed around the independence or after that, but Congress, as I told, had the first of the blocks advantage. This is known as first of the blocks advantage, a frequently asked questions. Okay, children, be that in 1 marks, 2 marks or 4 marks. By the time of independence, party had not only spread across the length and breadth of the country. Now see, organizational network which deep rooted and from the top till the bottom and down to the local level. It means not only it spread from the across the length and breadth of our country India, but also its network went down to the local level. And because this party Congress was till recently a national movement, party that participated in a national movement, so its nature was to include all. So we said the all inclusive nature of the Congress party. Because of these factors, in fact, Congress party could succeed in maintaining its dominance. Fine, children? Okay. Any question you do have, must ask. Apart from it, Congress was also a social and ideological coalition, children. It was a social coalition, it was an ideological coalition also. How was Congress these both, that we are going to see now, discuss now. Remember the year of its establishment, 1885, and those days it got established as a pressure group. Who was the founder? Yes, A.O. Hume, a retired British civil servant, had established as a pressure group for the newly educated professional and commercial classes. Okay, and then their journey began. Means this party started their journey from 1885, from this a pressure group of the newly educated professional and commercial classes than to a mass movement in 20th century. Okay, from it got transformed into a mass movement, and eventually this laid the basis for a transformation into a mass political basis. Okay, and it became a mass political party, and then from there its domination, subsequent domination of the political system, it started dominating our political system. So the Congress began the Congress began as a party dominated by initially English speaking people, upper caste people, upper middle class people, urban elite class. But with the launching of every civil disobedience movement, its base kept widening. Its social base widened. And then it succeeded in bringing together diverse groups. Sometimes their interests were contradictory, but still they were together, like peasants and industrialists. Their interests used to be contradictory, children. Okay, but they were together. Okay, they were together. Urban dwellers and villagers, workers and owners, middle class people, lower and upper class people, upper caste, mid, lower and upper caste people, they all found their space in Congress party. Okay, and gradually during the passage of time, during the course of time, what happened, children? The best positive with the Congress, that during the course of time, its leadership also expanded beyond the upper caste and upper class professionals. It didn't confine its leadership till upper caste and upper class people or professionals. It went beyond it to agriculture based leaders with a rural orientation. Fine. And by the time of our independence, this party, Congress, was transformed into a rainbow like social coalition. And it actually represented or broadly represented India's diversity in true terms, in terms of classes and castes, in terms of religions and languages, and various other interests, children. This was how this became a rainbow like social coalition. Okay, and many of these groups, they merged their identity within the Congress. They completely merged their identity within the Congress, and very often they didn't and continued to exist within the Congress as groups and individuals holding different beliefs. They didn't continue in the Congress for long, but they must tried their level best, and most of them succeeded. Okay, because as groups and as individuals holding different belief, it was very difficult for them to exist there, but they tried, and Congress accepted them. In this sense, Congress was an ideological coalition also, and every shade of life was accommodated by the Congress. It accommodated the revolutionary and the pacifist, the two diverse ideology, conservative and radicals, extremists and moderate. See how diverse their interests are. The right, the left, and all shades of a center, rightist, leftist, and the centrist approach also had been included by the Congress party. So it was a perfect platform for numerous groups. The Congress was a platform for numerous groups, interests, and even political parties to take part in the national movement. Okay, in pre-independence days, many organizations and parties with their own constitution and organizational structure were allowed to exist within the Congress in pre-independence days, if we are going back to the children. So we had the different organizations and parties with their own constitution. They are having their own constitution also. They were having their own organizational structure also, but still they were allowed to exist within the Congress. And later on, these all things got transformed into the strength of the Congress party. Okay? And how can we forget about that Congress Socialist Party? The Socialist Party was earlier within the Congress, having their own constitution, different constitution. So Congress Socialist Party later on, when it became compulsion that no, they another party with different name, they cannot be with the Congress having their different constitution. So Congress Socialist Party later separated from the Congress and became opposition parties. Okay, but despite all these differences regarding regarding the methods, regarding their programs and policies, the party managed to contain everybody together. Yes, sometimes they couldn't resolve their differences, they couldn't build the consensus, but they certainly stayed or remained together despite their differences. Regarding the methods were different, programs might be different, but they were together. Differences were there. Gradually, they succeeded in finding the solution. Okay, initially they couldn't find it, but still they were there together. Fine, children. In case of any doubt, must ask. Okay, and go through the text, make a notes, keywords, write the keywords apart from all the keywords that had been given in your lessons, and next day must ask. Okay, take care, stay safe, have a good day.